In this video, we'll take a look at how to solve equations using the fact family method. The fact family method has three basic steps. Step 1 is copy the problem. Before we move on to step 2, there is a little half step in between where we should simplify if possible. Step 2, we write the line of the fact family that can be solved. And finally, step 3, we solve. Now let's take a look at a really simple example. So we're going to start with 5 plus x equals 8. So step 1 is copy the problem. We're all set there. And there's nothing to really simplify here, so we're going to skip the half step and move on to step 2. To write the line of the fact family that can be easily solved. So if I think through addition, since this is an addition problem, the sum will stay the same, but my two add-ins can switch places. Well, if I switch places, I'll have x plus 5 equals 8, which isn't solvable, so I don't want that. So then if I move on to subtraction, 8 will become my first number. So obviously we're going to need to subtract here. Now, one of my numbers will go here, and then equals, and my other number. So in order to make this solvable, obviously I want the 5 right here, and the x to be the answer. Now, step 3, we solve. So 8 minus 5 is 3, so x equals 3. Now let's take a look at another example. 8 plus x equals 5. Again, just like last time, since this is an addition problem, the sum will stay where it is, but these two add-ins can switch places. And once again, if I switch places, that's not going to be helpful. So we're going to have to move on to subtraction. Well, the sum will become the minuend. So that means my 5 is going to come out front here, and I'm going to subtract. Now, I get to put one number here equals the other number. So obviously I want the 8 here equals x, and now we solve. Now this time though, I have 5 minus 8, and so my answer is negative 3. In case you missed how we found the line of the fact family that can be solved, make sure you watch my other video on fact families, and that should fill you in on how we rearranged these. For our next example, we're going to take a look at 12 divided by x equals 3. So since this is a division problem, we should know that it will be the dividend that will stay in place, and the divisor and quotient can switch places. Well, if I switch the 3 and the x, I'm going to end up with a division problem that I can solve. So that's what I want to do. Leave the 12 where it is and leave this division, but switch the 3 and the x around. Now, I'm ready to solve. So 12 divided by 3 is 4, therefore x equals 4. Now let's go ahead and take a look at x divided by 12 equals 3. So the next line of this fact family would be another division problem. So since it's division, it'll be the dividend that stays in place, so this time the x. So this would be x divided by 3 equals 12, since these would just switch places. Well, since that's not helpful, obviously I'm going to have to switch over to multiplication. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my multiplication dot in and my equal sign. And when I go from division to multiplication, my dividend becomes my product. So x will go there, and then either number, 12 or 3, can go into either of these spots, and since it's multiplication it really doesn't matter. So let's just go ahead and put 12 times 3. And then finally we solve. So x equals, well, 12 times 3 is 36. For our last example, we're going to take a look at 10 plus 30 plus x plus 70 equals 150. So we have the problem copied, but notice that we have a bunch of addition here with more than one factor that we know, or excuse me, more than one add-in that we know. So that means that I can go ahead and add these up and simplify this first. So this is the first time we're going to take advantage of that half step, and we're going to simplify. So 10 plus 30 is 40, plus 70 is 110. So we have 110 plus x equals 150. From here we solve just like a normal fact family. So, since this is addition, the sum will stay in place, which means these two would just switch places. Well, that's not helpful. So we're going to obviously have to switch over to subtraction. And when I switch to subtraction, my sum will become my minuend. Now I can fill either of the two numbers left over, 110 and x, into these two spots. So obviously I'm going to want to put 110 in there so I can solve that, and x will be my answer. Now we're ready to solve. X equals 150 minus 110 is 40. And there it is.